Hello. Today we're gonna look at a match in between Atlanta Reign, and like Florida Mayhem on Gibraltar, like just a couple days ago, and like this is interesting in that both sides like struggled to attack, but Mayhem won in the end. But both sides like really struggled with the attack for about 3 minutes, even for Mayhem's side, but Reign were like kind of held on first point, which is like really tragic, especially as on this point the defenders do have quite a big advantage because they have like so much high ground to hold, and that's why you see like Winston here and not something else like Ball or Rhine. Like Ball's fine, Rhine is a throw on this map, but Ball is fine. But the thing is that like Winston has vertical movement and all the other main tanks, so Winston is like probably the best pick on this map just due to his ability to get up to high ground and then drop from high ground. Anyone who tries to push it, run it down main will be shocked by a Winston dropping on their backline. And yeah. Anyways, let's take a look at the matchup. Both teams are running double bubble. I think Edison's on Sim, but he's gonna switch to Tracer. Meanwhile, Mayhem are playing the Ash Tracer, which is really popular in Korea, and Mayhem Mayhem being a really Korean team, as in everyone in Mayhem is Korean. It's not mixed. It's not a mixed team nor a Western team. It's a Korean team, and also I think their coaching staff are also Korean, because generally with all full Korean teams and the difference between full Korean teams and full Western teams, mixed teams are somewhere in the middle, but full Korean teams they prefer to play comps that have Winston and to a lesser extent Ball in them, because Koreans in any game, not just Overwatch, League of Legends, they like mobility. They like mobile heroes. For example, in League of Legends, Koreans love it Ezreal, which is which has an escapability. So Koreans they really like mobile heroes just because they can make plays and then still maintain the possibility of escaping. So Mayhem are running the Ash Tracer variant of Double Bubble, which is really popular in Korean contenders as well. Meanwhile, Reign are I think half Western. I'm not sure. Maybe even full Western. But the thing is that in exchange for having probably better brawl, NAEU, they play brawl when it's even remotely strong. In exchange for that, Korea, Western main tanks aren't that good at Winston. Except for some really special exceptions, but for the most part, Western main tanks they're worse than Korean main tanks in terms of Winston play, and to a lesser extent Ball play. And I mean worse than Korean and Chinese main tanks, because their Chinese main tanks are also pretty good at Winston, even though they are way more aggressive. But yeah, Western main tanks are kind of questionable at Winston generally. So enough for background context. Let's move on to the VOD. So right here, notice how Mayhem are holding really far forwards, because normally how you would defend Gibraltar is you give up this stretch of the map, and then you defend the remaining of the first point. And to do that, you put your backline here, and then you put your divers for example, your Winston can hold passively here. Your Winston could hold aggressively, bit aggressively, or they can hold basically anywhere on this high ground. Usually this is a bit aggressive, but usually on this high ground. And the reason you don't really want to hold here is because it's really easy to force out. The reason you don't want to hold here if the core is playing passively right here, because a lone tracer can just force you out and force you to jump back out to your team, and there's no like Ana to heal you. So but now they're taking a really aggressive position, which gives Gan Jin like a sight line on the Winston, which allows him to hold a really aggressive position. So what do Rain have to do? Rain have to like take the high ground, and then they have to like move their core up to like this high ground, like around this bridge area, and then have them go from here. And then meanwhile, like Gator wants to like pincer from like another angle, and to do that properly, like they have to clear these people out first. So, and like, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they actually do it successfully. So right here, like they're all like focusing OGE, and OGE stays here for too long. So they do clear out OGE, and normally this would force out OGE to jump out, but OGE doesn't jump out. He gets hacked. They didn't expect the Sombra, probably. So, like, unfortunate. Now, like, Mayhem have to abandon their aggressive positioning. What they should do is they have to reset now. They have to play for time. Or, like, because you lose your Winston so early, this is really bad normally. Like, unless, like, Rain make a stupid mistake. But, like, if you lose your Winston early, what you have to do, like, you sometimes just have to, like, abandon this high ground and go here and defend, like, the second half of the map. And Rain, what I expect them to do is that they want Gator to jump when the core is ready. So this is a bad engage. And why is this a bad engage? Just take a look at Iris's position. Like BQB dies, like probably a positional error. Well, like, actually, like, this isn't that bad of an engage at all. Like, the thing I'm seeing is that, like, you see Edison is actually pincering from behind. Well, as you can see, Pelican's, like, getting into position, and, like, Edison is pincering. And, like, look, BQB just gets caught out of position and dies. So, like, what did I want Mayhem to do? So, firstly, I think Mayhem should have spy checked, like, a bit more. Because, like, it was just Winston and Tracer, and let me see if BQB has Coach Gun. Yeah, he has Coach Gun, so maybe he got a bit too greedy. He could have just Coach Gun up to the high ground. Oh, he Coach Gun a bit too late. Like, he got a bit too greedy, actually. Like, even if, like, Sombra's behind, then, like, BQB could just, like, pincer up. I mean, not pincer. Coach Gun up to this high ground and, like, remain safe. And, like, yeah. And, like, Trace, Pelican, and Edison can't really, like, shoot here as well. But, it looks like he just gets too greedy. It's a micro error. He just gets a bit too greedy. He should Coach Gun, like, immediately, like, right now. But, he doesn't. So, like, I thought that Gator was actually going in to like pincer with his core. So like normally what would happen is that his core, like the core just like goes here and Gator just jumps here. He's not looking to dive anything. He's probably just gonna be looking to like clear this high ground so that like his core can like, you know, stand here and like Rain can set up angles on the second half of the map. But in this case, like, BQB gets too greedy and gets out of position. And now, like, they should be able to complete the high ground rotation. But, I'm not sure why Massa drops. Well, not Massa. I'm not sure why Hawk drops. Oh, he is going back to high ground, at least. Like, I would expect, like, I would expect Hawk to actually pincer from here. I guess that like Gator committed his jump to kill BQB, so like he can't like contest this high ground as well. So I'm guessing that's what's happening. So at least they do take the high ground. Yeah, I think that's why Gator. They have Tracer push carts and Hawk. And getting picked like this forces like Mayhem to like give up some space. So let's see the ultimates. The ultimates are quite similar. Now, like, speaking of which, like, the thing is with Rain's comp is that they're gonna look for, like, harder dives just because, like, they have Sombra, and they want to set up Sombra somewhere behind, and then they want to, like, catch someone off guard, look for a hack, force out cooldowns with, like, their Sombra. They have no long-range poke. Like, Mayhem are gonna win the poke war, but, like, so, like, Rain has to, like, close the distance pretty quickly and, like, look for hacks and, like, EMPs if that's available. EMP engages with their Sombra. But, so Mayhem will just have to, like, firstly, like, spy check if possible, and secondly, just try to maintain distance so that BQB can poke from range. So, like, BQB will not only be looking to, like, so BQB will be looking to, like, aside from picking squishies, you might also try to poke out Gator if he's in a bad position as well. And, like, if the good way to punish, like, for Mayhem to punish, like, over-aggression is to just, like, poke out Gator, and then, like, he'll be forced to go back. So let's see if that happens. Anyways, now, like, now they back up all the way, though. They have Ana on the high ground, but Brig makes a pretty weird rotation. Slime. So now they're back up to this high ground. Slime does make a really weird rotation, though. Oh, he drops. I'm guessing that he doesn't want to be, like, killed from over there, so. And then the problem is, like, the core do get really split. I'm not sure. It's easy to cut off Gargoyle from this position. I think. Okay, let me see how they. So the moment that, like, OG comes in, I think Gargoyle wants to rotate to a better position. So as you can see, Gargoyle gets jumped on. I expect some follow-up. But Edison's not, like, staged to, like, exploit this. Yeah, like, Gargoyle just gets, like, split. And is put under intense pressure from Rain. So, should I think Gargoyle should have done? So a Gargoyle, like, Gargoyle should not have stand here. He should have, like, kited back with his team, and I think that, like, he should have, like, went here, so that he can at least have the escape route down here, or, like, he could have even, like, rotated to, like, server, in which case, like, his backline would, like, most likely, like, go with him. But in this case, like, Mayhem just get, like, so split. It's okay to split. I mean, it's okay. Splitting's not bad. It's just that, like, if you're cut off from, like, the rest of your team while splitting, then it's bad. Generally. So, like, right here, OGE goes in and Gargoyle wants to use this opportunity to, like, get the fuck back down. Or, like, at least jump up to here. And Iris gets Nano first, and now I think this is a mistake by Rain, because, like, OG goes in. Okay, how does Massa die? It's a good pincer by Yaki, yeah. So, like, they look like they wanted to kind of trade, so, like, Yaki wants to, like, go here and pincer with OGE, who's here. Meanwhile, like, Edison wants to pincer from here and like, and link up with Gator, but in this case, like, Edison's not even going in. Oh, they trade. Oh, they were trying to go for a pincer dive, and Gangnam Jin actually goes. That's why I didn't like either of the. I didn't like the core positioning from Mayhem. It's just like kind of weak. Then I honestly think they should have backed up the server. But Massa dies. And so like they nano Gator, but the problem is after Massa dies, like they first have to force out Tracer. I don't know, I think this is kind of confusing. I think Gator should have. Gator should have tried to like peel off OG instead of going for Gargoyle. And the reason is that, like, as bad as his positioning is, in my opinion, like, it's still like not like really bad positioning. And what I mean by that is that like Edison can't get up here without like going all the way around, so you can't like catch a Gargoyle immediately. There's nobody to like really pincer. If they had an Echo, it would be fine, but like they don't have an Echo. They have like Tracer Sombra. Like, if they have an Echo, they can, like, you know, try to, like, kill Gargoyle with using Echo stickies, but they don't. So I think, like, the Gator should have, like, went to, peel off, like, OG first, before going with the Nano Engage into Gargoyle. And it gives an opportunity for Gargoyle to reposition, but it's better than your backline just, like, you know, dying. Like, Gangnam Jin dies, but, this dive is still gonna be, like... Mayhem's dive is still going to be superior because like look, you know, like Yaki's in the perfect position, OG's like pincering, and they also have like their core like joining as well, and like Gargoyle's going to be cut off from helping, but they have BQB, so they have like 4 members of like Mayhem going against like Hawk and Iris. Losing Massa was big there, but meanwhile like Gator gets nanoed, but it's like 1, and like Edison and Pelican are basically cut off from the fight. So like, if it's like even though like Gator even eventually gets Gargoyle, like this dive by Mayhem's gonna be like superior. The Tracer Sombra like were in the back, so they didn't really contest Yaki from staging there. So like they were trying to trade, like they got a Ana off of it, but after getting Ana, what should have Edison done? Edison should have like came back and tried to like. So Edison decides to 1v1 Slime, but that's not the play. I think the play here was like, oh, get Gangnam Jin, great. Now prevent Yaki from just like being here for free. Does he have enough blinks? As can see, like he should have just tried to peel off Yaki, but I mean by that time they already finished the dive. But so I think I'd like Rain just got too greedy, trying to get Gangnam Jin and like and then it allows like Yaki to get like free staging, allows like, you know, Yaki and OG and to a lesser extent Slime to like stage for free, a stage of perfect engagement on Rain's backline. So right here. So Pelican is EMP, and so they're probably gonna look to like split. Do I like this? I think Gargoyle's a bit too ambitiously positioned. Yeah, I think Gargoyle should have been like with the core. Should have rotated high ground with the core. Well, like there is like someone's gonna have to contest a card, but that could have been like maybe Yaki. But yeah, like this just gives an easy EMP target. And then like even though Yaki will have to sacrifice like positioning to get to contest card, like Mayhem will have an EMP. I'm not an EMP like Nano, so like while OGE's Nano, like Yaki could just like take back that aggressive positioning he had. So kind of sloppy. This EMP though gets one. But like a one-man EMP really isn't ideal. That's on the other hand. So like now, but more importantly, they're just kind of running it down main. So like when they're doing this, they're not like they're not rotating the Massa, Iris, or Hawk like to the high ground. They're all on low ground. Like nobody's like this is like basically free for like Mayhem to use. But more importantly, even from here, they have a height advantage. And, like, you know, BQB has, like, perfect sightlines if he coach guns up to here. So, like, they're all just really running it down main. They're not even set up properly for this EMP. Like, where's Edison? Edison's, like, behind, yeah, but... So they're staging behind. But like they're all on low ground. And they use Nano Primal, sure. A bit excusable, but like maybe but Rain use EMP and Rally and still lose. Are gonna lose probably. Like, look, they're all on low ground, and like, you know, and Gator's on high ground, but, like, you'll be looking off to peel this die first anyways before, like, going in. So, like, Massa dies, and, like, Mayhem respawns. How does Iris die? Okay, so now, like, Rain stabilized a bit. Like, Massa dies, but in this case, I just probably wait for Massa, but, like, there's no point taking a fight here, just back up. Let's see how Yaki, like, gets into the backline for free. So, yeah, oh, this is sneaky flank by Yaki, and, like, nobody's contesting this flank, first of all. They're... Rain are preparing for an aggressive, like, you know, aggressive, like, play, but like, yeah, like, a team without, they don't have a break. Like, Mayhem have a break who's rallying, so, like, honestly, Rain not resetting here is a throw. Because, like, look, like, you know, Yaki just goes in, one clips, like, Gangnam Jin, no, not Gangnam Jin, Iris, and then, like, boom, the fight's over. I don't understand. Like, why not wait for Massa? Like, if you lose, like, your break, like, in like, you know, double bubble mirror, then that means that, like, your Tracer, you can't really play, like, offensively anymore. You can't, like, have Edison, like, stage aggressively. You can't have Pelican stage aggressively, sure, like, she's Sombra, but you can't have Edison stage aggressively anymore. Because, like, he'll need to be, like, contesting the flanks, like, just so, like, Mayhem don't dive, like, kill Ana for free. Like, at the very least, like, they should have, like, waited, like, maybe Edison, like, you know, takes a more shallower angle, like, guards this flank instead. Instead of, like, you know, going that deep. So now Edison's, like, deep in the back line. Now it's... I mean, could be good for Rain. Where's Yaki stage, though? Yaki, so both tracers are staged behind. But like Rain have Grav, so like they need to like get they shouldn't be Hawk should not be greedy with Grav. He only needs a one-man Grav. Like why so greedy? So firstly, like these bubbles are kind of suspicious. Well, like I mean, you can see they're trying to fight for this high ground. They're trying to force OG out of there. So they. How does Edison die though? Oh, big headshot, big headshot. Yeah, that's a reset. Well, unless like Hawk manages to get a good grab, but even if you grab like Gator like OGE here, like you could grab OGE here, but and you might get a kill off of that, but like so when does Edison die? Edison dies here. You could grab like now, but like Mayhem or just like Gargoyle's just saving his bubble for like, and Massa dies. So yeah, it's over. It's over. Where's OGE though? Oh, it's a good pulse bomb by Yaki. Like Rain, they just have to learn how to reset. They're fighting 5v6 and just feeding Mayhem ult charge. And like, if you lose like Ashe, it's maybe fine. You might have like some really like, you might have Nano, and in that case you really only need your Tracer to get picks on the backline. But like if you lose someone like Yaki or like not Yaki. No, like, oh shit, wrong team. If you lose like Massa, for example, you're not gonna be able to stage that aggressively anymore, because like you're gonna need like Edison to contest like the flanks that are directly threatening your Ana. So right here, Yaki is just, why are they taking so much poke? So they position here. They need to get like so they get, but they commit a bubble for this. I don't like it. So OGE can get poked out. No, I'm not I honestly want Pelican to like, I think Pelican should be like, Pelican should have played more defensively. Like Pelican's like positioning here, but like yeah, if Gator and like OGE try to like contest for this high ground, then like OGE is gonna win, like unless Pelican can contribute to it, because like Mayhem have better poke. So like Pelican is just not playing like defensively. He's playing too aggressive. And now like why? So like they commit a bubble just to get OGE like off the high ground, but that doesn't matter. They're just gonna jump up again with their own bubble, so they don't even win the staging battle. And like, so Rain have a Grav. Why Hawk? What's Hawk saving Grav for? Like maybe just solo Grav OGE. Like fuck it. Like maybe have Pelican there to help, but like solo Grav OGE, kill OGE first, and then like you can move your backline up safely, and then try to like. And then like like go in and try to like clear this high ground, then take a fight on the cart. But they're not. What are they saving Grav for? Like Hawk's like probably saving Grav for like when the eventual fight starts. But like here's the thing: like Rain are having trouble staging in the first place. I don't get it. And I don't know what Edison is really doing. Edison is trying to stage on the flank, but And guess what? Like now, like Gator drops for some reason, tries to kill a Bob. Bob's in a really bad bubble. What the fuck is that bubble for? This is just Pepega. Like now, like where's Yaki? Like in all the chaos, nobody is clearing out Yaki. Like why? And OGE and like OGE plus Yaki is just gonna have the superior staging. Like Edison's like, let's see what Edison's doing. Edison's like trying to clear Yaki out. Yeah, he should really get. So he's trying to clear Yaki out, and then he switches to like, you know, trying to stage aggressively. But I don't like this. Like choose one or the other. Like either like leave Yaki in the backline, put yourself in their backline. Or, like, so you can trade backlines when, like, the eventual, like, you know, backline trade happens with OG and Gator. Or, like, you play defensively. Use your Brig, use Masa to help you, like, clear Yaki out. Or at least, yeah, or chunk him down. And then, like, afterwards, yeah, and then afterwards you're gonna have, like, an advantage because you can kind of go for, like, soft splits because, like, Yaki will have to, like, go all the way back to, like, receive heals. But, like, he's just, like... So, firstly, he's trying to, like, clear Yaki out, and then he's like, oh, I changed my mind. I mean, like, you can even do it. He is kind of out of blinks. Like, if anything, like, I honestly prefer, like... Yeah, just like, Yaki is in the backline. That's a lost cause. He already staged, like, well, now, like, focus on your own staging, so, like, Gator can actually jump up here and then, like, try to, like, you know, force the backline on low ground with your pincer. So, like, OGE just wins this backline trade. Masa drops, for some reason, even though, like, the interesting drop. They're not even brawling on point, like, Mayhem don't have to drop on point. They just have Bob to contest. So, like, Masa dies, and guess what? Yaki's in the backline now. And Yaki's playing defensively, actually. And I kind of like this defensive play because, like... And the reason is because... Is because when OG, like, jumped, which would get the nano, like, he... Like, he could have stayed in the... He could have stayed in, like, the back line. Okay, let's see Yaki. Where did Yaki go? So Yaki tried to, like... They forced drops. He got, like, he killed Masa with OGE. Good enough. And now, like, the thing is that, like, I think the thing he recognizes is he could have been, like, he could have actually went, like, really aggressive, but, like, I think he's actually scared of the EMP, so, like, he already got a pick, so, like, he doesn't really need to, like, you know, go behind them again. Like, you could, like, try to go for Gangnam Jin or not Gangnam Jin. I already confused the teams, I'm sorry. He went for, like, Iris or, like, Hawk or Gator, but I think he recognizes that EMP could punish that, so, like, he wants to play defensively. And if you force Edison out of the fight, then you can fight, like, a 5v, like, 5, essentially. Even though, like, even if, like, Yaki isn't the ideal position. And, like, even if Pelican EMPs, there's no pincer by Edison to, like, really make use of it. So, really smart play, I think. Like, smart defensive play. So, it forces, like, Edison to peel back. Gets Gargoyle, though. Just lucky Pulse Bomb. Probably. No, why does Hawk... How does Hawk die? Oh. Oh, it's a Grav, and... So... Okay. So notice, like, how they all actually, like, they are actually, like, abandon the high ground. except for BQB, who can contribute indirectly using his range. And they actually like brawl, so they actually like go in and try to finish the fight by using via like a brawl, a direct brawl. So yeah, good engage by Mayhem. And they trade Zaryas, but doesn't really matter. Like, look at this. Like, they're already perfectly staged, essentially. And Gator tries to pop the Primal, try to like put point pressure, but it doesn't matter. Gets BQB, but yeah, good defensive Tracer play as well. Like as Tracer, like you can play offensively, you can try to stage yourself and engage, but in this case, Mayhem already engaged, and they're just trying to like peel off the counter engage, so that's why Yaki doesn't like go aggressive, look for picks. Instead, like he tries to like prevent Gator from clutching the fight, which is good. So good defensive Tracer play. So now, let's see. Rain are trying to hold, like... Rain are doing, like, a hold right here. And they have Edison on the flank. And they're still running the Sombra variant. I'm not a big fan of the Sombra variant on this map. Like, you have long sight lines. You're not... And Sombra variant just, like... Not only does Sombra have limited vertical mobility, unlike an Echo, but also, like, really, like, you have such long range, you use it. You have such like long sight lines. I mean, use the long sight lines for something. I don't like this by like Rain. Why do they keep running Sombra instead of like something like Ashe? Maybe they don't want to match BQB on Ashe. BQB is really good at Ashe, but now someone has to like clear Pelican if possible. Like if anything, like the nitpick I have is Mayhem should be trying to spy check. I think a bit more. Maybe like, you know, maybe like Slime just swings up the flanks, scare off Sombra. But now as you can see they're gonna have OG like they can't really like Mayhem can't really push now. They have to wait for OG to come in. So so now yeah, this is pretty slow. So right here, like as you can see, they're trying to pinch. They're trying to pinch, like, you know, the Rain. Gangnam Jin gets a decent nade, but right here, I don't really like this. They're pushing too early. You can see, like, they get pushed. They push into this small ass room, and like the problem with this is that like literally, like Rain can just like go behind and try to pincer them, and yeah. It's basically like a 6v5. Hawk kills Slime, so I don't like this. This is too early. So like, at least Rain they punish rotate like well. And so they rotate again. Yaki's behind. They're like generally like since you won't really like look to engage normally on this, like Edison is like probably playing more defensively, trying to like scout out Yaki. Oh, they are playing the Sombra variant though, like Like if you're trying to play like more passive, like more passively, you would want like at least like poke, or some way of poking. So like. So like right here, Gator pushes in, gets a, like normally I'm not a big fan of this because you're just pushing in, and disengage isn't gonna like get you a lot of value unless like maybe you have a Sombra and Tracer behind. Like all it does is that it forces out like it forces out some abilities, but it isn't gonna work. But right here, OG goes into again, and like. And yeah, like Gator just jumps back. So they get. So what do Mayhem do? Like they're just like pushing in without clearing like the Gator in their back line first. Like look, Gator. Like you just all you need to do is really force Gator to jump back, and then like this is misplayed by Mayhem. So Gator like goes in. I don't like this engage. And then like he does get out like before he gets like mega punished. But OG like at the same time goes in. And like since like Gator already got a bit of value in like cutting off the core for a few seconds, like this is like a window where OG can't really engage, but OG decides to engage regardless and gets punished for it. Like he has no support, like nobody's like really putting like pressure from the flanks. Like if they Mayhem really wanted to punish this, then like what they needed to do is like force out Gator. And Gator without cooldowns is kind of useless, and then push in, and with BQB like somewhere on the flank. So I don't like this. Wait, how does everyone die though? Oh, the grav. But they do have grav though. Like OG like feeds, but they do have grav, and Yaki like is in the perfect position to like kind of exploit the grav. Massive kills OG doesn't matter. Like, yeah. Okay, how did Yaki like get perfect staging though? So like, let's see what Edison has been doing for the last 10 seconds from there. So like he's trying. What? He's not really useful from this position. Like sure, he puts some. I mean, he does put some flank pressure on OG, but he just gets bubbled. I'm not a big fan of this positioning. Like, what are they trying to punish? Like maybe like this would be good if they're like pushing here, like then you know Gator and S can like just push here, but like S is just like half-assing like his flanks. Like taking this flank is gonna provide not only like little pressure, but like look at how easy it is to poke you out. Like BQB could literally like fart you to death. I mean he is dealing with Pelican, but look, like there's an exposed Edison here. Like what? Why isn't he like trying to like keep chasing Yaki? I mean, it's not like a sexy defensive play, but it gets the job done. It stops Yaki from being able to exploit that grav so easily. Like, look, it doesn't make sense. Like, what is he doing? Like he's just not playing the hero right. He's holding here when like the enemy's not even gonna push here. The enemy's not gonna push this way, and like. You can try to drop, but like they're clearly on the high ground. Like maybe you can get up to this box and pincer with Gator, but I'm not sure. Is that what you're gonna do? Maybe he was trying to pincer with Gator, but even then, like after the nano, maybe that's what the plan. But. But generally on defense, like you don't even need to like do any aggressive, like really aggressive staging plays. Just focus on peeling off like the enemy tracer, and like once you force out the enemy tracer, you can look for like really soft like pincers where you can still kind of deal, where you can still kind of like you know, pincer with your monkey. So right here, like, yeah, it's just sloppy play, and when OGE comes back, like, Gator goes in, but like because like he allowed Yaki to like get perfect positioning. Like, look at how much work Yaki done. Yaki did pulse bomb, then forced out like so damn much. And when Gator goes in, like, the backline isn't even... This isn't even a really particularly good place for a Gator to engage. Why? Because, like, he pushes in, but, like, his backline are forced to drop, and there's no more pincer. And, like, Gangnam, meanwhile, like... Meanwhile, they take the high ground, and they're able to pinch. Like, maybe Mayhem's, like, engage isn't that good as well. Who does he nano? Oh, he nano Zarya. Reasonable. But, like, yeah, like, no. Like, Rain, like, they're just engaging without a brain. Like, maybe Mayhem is kind of engaging without a brain, but Rain are just... Rain look like they don't know how to dive. So now, like, they do allow... Now, like, Mayhem are allowed to rotate into server room, and they're gonna have their... They're gonna try to take high ground, they're gonna try to pincer. Let's see where Yaki is, though. He's on low ground. Now, let's see the ultimates, though. Like, the Rain do have Grav, so, like, they could just, what Rain could do is that they could just grab, like, 1 or 2 on card, and they still have the positioning to exploit it. And then afterwards you can cycle with EMP, which will be incredibly annoying. What is this juggling, though? Okay, I'll just chalk this up to bad juggling. Like, what is this juggling? Like, he's not even, like, doing the jump combos right. I mean, he gets left, like, unfortunate, but he's missing. Like, that could be, like, a kill, but... And finally they do grab, but I don't like Primeling then grabbing because, like, firstly, like, Primeling isn't that good for exploiting a grab, and secondly, like, generally after you Primal, you need to heal yourself up. Primal makes you take a lot of damage. Primal is generally the middle to end of fight thing. And they do kill, like, with the grab. Maybe where's Gargoyle? Gargoyle was a bit overextended, I think. They just... Where is Gargoyle? I mean, like, yeah, at least a juggle forced Gargoyle into a position. So it wasn't as bad as a Primal as I thought, but... That's a pretty expensive fight. But this is kind of losable. Like, the fact they had to pop EMP there is really unfortunate. They could have just cycled, and then the next fight they could have popped, like, you know, maybe that rally, maybe this nano, and then, like, they can make it truly hard for Mayhem. But since, like, they scuff up their first ults, like, the cycle's broken. They can't really cycle ultimates anymore. So, like, they kill, like... So the Bob does put a lot of pressure, though. Now Gator does take, like, so much chip down, so much damage. Like, this is actually really bad. And, like, instead of stabilizing, like... Okay, let's see, so like, Gator is, like, so low. Gator is really low. Like, they hacked Bob. Great. Now, does OG, like, boop them off high ground? Because what Gator should have done, actually, I think, is, like, he should have, like, jumped up, like, here, get some healing, get a bit of heals, and then go back down, and then they can fully brawl. They don't. They just, like, drop off. And, like, Gator just tries to, like, and it forces Massa to pop the rally. So they don't stabilize after getting a pick, and, like, Yeah, they get their EMP forced out. Now the cycle's broken. Iris will have like what Gator should do. Well, Gator dies. That actually could be huge. Like what Gator should do, like if he now like Mayhem actually do a good job soft resetting. It punishes like what I was about to say was like Gator could have like fed a bit and tried to give his Ana Nano. But like yeah, it would give Gangnam Jin Nano, but it doesn't matter. It really like your Nano is kind of like your last hurrah. So right here, like Mayhem do reset like really well. I'm actually impressed by this, and like it kind of eliminates that strategy. Like firstly, they're gonna rotate back to high ground. They'll probably get the rotation because they don't have a monkey to really punish it. But they all just stay on low ground. They all just stay on low ground. No. Why are they all on low ground? Like Yaki now can stage for free, and they're gonna play for Nano, but like here's the thing. So Gator gets them. So Yaki, like by virtue of being on high ground, like this just means OG's engage is gonna be better. Like when they eventually try to trade backlines. Where's Edison though? Is Edison behind? Like Edison is behind, like as well. So like I guess it's not as bad, but still, that doesn't change the fact they're on low ground. Like the core's going to be on high ground, and like what that means is that like to get the core, like Gator has to like commit jump, but OG can like stage like beforehand easily and drop, and then use the jump to like escape and reset. So, but more importantly, like dropping from high ground is easier, which means that like Mayhem's core can like help OGE, while like Rain's core are probably gonna be cut off. Kind of like they could Nano Gator and they could W key, but like then like OG can just like jump in the middle and like cut off the thing, and then like and isn't like Gator's cutting off like them as well, because like they could literally just drop down. Like, being on high ground just means it's harder to cut you off as well. Like cut the core off from helping. So you can see like Gator's forced out because he has no help from core, and then look, they're all on low ground. They didn't set up for the fight correctly, and they get punished for it. So yeah, that was an interesting match. Anyways, peace.